Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all. All of that, we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla, and Tesla closed at 322.05. And what's interesting is we come down to this low here around the 322.80. Bounce from there only to have some trouble. We're having trouble in this 328.35 area. So where are the trouble places as of now for Tesla? Let's start there. Support is around this level of 327.32. Again, resistance around the 328.35. However, we did come up to this level of 328.80. So definitely watching around that 328.80 area, breaking that 329.15. Should we break that 330.38 and breaking the 330.38 area, as you can see, there's a few layers of resistance here. 330.91. 331.39 and again here 332.05, breaking that 332.05 area, which is around here. We could possibly have trouble again. 332.58, 332.99, 333.77. Those could be rejection areas for Tesla. Keep in mind, I look at support and resistance on a smaller scale, y'all. Why? Because when I'm in the trade, I kind of want to know where my possible trouble places are. Continuing to the downside now, under the 327.32 for Tesla, we could very well come back to this area here of 326.42. Breaking that brings us back to this zone that we were trading in here, which is around the 325.66. And as you can see, y'all, that 220 EMA is right there. I like to see that. So breaking that level, we've lost area of support. 325.36 next level. Let's say we break under that, we have 325.10. So there's a lot of support in this area, in my opinion, for Tesla. Let's say around the 325.66 down to the 325.10. So breaking that 325.10, we could very well come back to 324.52. Breaking that brings us back to around the 50 EMA in this area here around the 323.74. Should we break that level, you see the ATR trailing stop, the 200 EMA, and very close to a level that we have marked. I would say I would watch this area of 322.84, because if we lose that, we still have another layer right here at the 322.25. So breaking that 322.25, we could very well come back to 321.75, and again 321.71, 320.30, breaking that level, 318.85, breaking 318.85, 318.26, 317.93, 317.61. Breaking that brings us back to 316.60. So if you are trading Tesla to the upside or to the downside, those are possible areas of rejection, support, or resistance. Again, not financial advice, y'all. So we are now looking at the SPY. We closed at 595.76. So where are the trouble places? Y'all see we were trading in this zone right here. Support was at around the 594.17. We had a resistance area somewhere around the 595.16. We have since broken through that, and it looks like we're finding support here at this 50 EMA somewhere around the 596.13. To the upside, we could possibly have trouble 596.45, 596.71, 596.94, and you can see here there's a few layers of resistance for the spike at 597.20. However, breaking that brings us back to 597.69, and again here at 597.95. Breaking that, there's a few layers of resistance there, one being the 200 EMA. So if we break that 598.14 area, we could very well come back to 598.98, breaking that 599.26, and again 599.60. Should we break that area, $600.10, and it kind of brings us back to this area here. So if you are trading the SPY today, those are possible areas of rejection or resistance. So back to the downside, let's say we break under this 594.96, we could very well come back to 594.17, which is this zone here that we have been trading in. Breaking that brings us back to 593.67. We found support here before. Breaking that level, we could find support again, 593.30, 593. Breaking that level, 592.62, and under that 592.18. Should we break that level, the next level I have marked for the SPY is around, let's see, 591.57. So if you're trading the SPY today, those are possible areas to the upside and to the downside. Again, y'all, not financial advice. I say in this market, anything is possible, right? So we are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 145.48. It looks like it's trading in this zone here. Support is around the, as of now, 145.02. Resistance, we could say, is here around 145.39, which is kind of like trading in this area here. So breaking beyond back to the upside above this level, 145.39, we could possibly have trouble again, 145.60. And I really need to mark that. Why? Because there's kind of like filling in a gap space. Well, if we could figure, okay, it's kind of like filling in a space from here to here. So back to the upside, we'll fix that a little bit later. For 145.63, back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble 145.80, breaking that area, 145.96, 146.19, breaking that area for NVDA, 146.49, and should we break that 146.89, could possibly be a rejection area for us. Now, if we break that 146.89 area, we could possibly have trouble again, 147.34. So if you are trading NVDA today, those are possible areas of resistance to the upside. Now to the downside, there's a few areas of support here. So I have the level here of 145.02. However, we have the 5 EMA and the 50 EMA as of now. That could very well hold us up. So let's say under 144.78. If we break that 144.78, we can come back to 144.65 and possibly find support. Breaking that, we see the ATR trailing stop is forming here around the 144.32. Should we break that, we have a support at 144.17. See where that line is, and the 200 EMA. So this may be a strong area of support for us. 144.30, 144.17. Yes, 144 area. So I would, if trading NVDA, those are possible areas that I would watch as a strong support. Again, not financial advice. Breaking that brings us back to 143.77. Should we break that area, 143.32, 143.16, 142.90, and breaking that brings us back to 142.42. Should we break that 142.08 and breaking that level 141.88. So if you are trading NVDA today, those are possible areas to the upside and to the downside, y'all. And I say so often, not financial advice, because in this market anything is possible, right? So we are now looking at AMD. We closed at 126.79. Support as of now, we could say, is here around the 127.37. Resistance around the 128.01. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble at 128.40, which is the ATR trailing stop as of now. Breaking that level, 128.61, and should we break that around the 129.01, yes, around the 129.01, 129.02, should we break that area, 129.24. Breaking that brings us back to 129.72. And should we break that area, we could possibly have trouble 130.64. Keep in mind, there's something that, you know, we can get stopped out in this area from the 129.72 up to the 130.64. We could very well get stopped out there. So trade carefully if that's something that you trade. Breaking this level of 130.64 for AMD, we could possibly have trouble again at 131.14. Should we break that 131.14, as you can see here, 131.85. However, we can get stopped out somewhere in between that. I say anything is possible, right? So continuing to the downside, under the 127.37 kind of brings us back to under those moving averages, 126.94. The next level I have marked here as support is 126.67. Should we break that level, 126.33, and breaking that brings us back to 125.69. Should we break that, 125.15, which is the 200 EMA as of now, breaking that level brings us back to 124.94. Breaking that, 124.47, and again here at 123.78. So if we break the 123.78, we could very well come back to around the 123.20 and breaking that level, 122.90, and under there 122.64. So if AMD is something that you trade today, I say so often, y'all, trade carefully, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, get out, live to trade another day, right? So we are now looking at Meta. We closed at 695.77, and as you can see, we were trading in this zone here only to bounce back up. So support, we can say, is around the 696.06. Resistance is around 698.27. So this will be the zone that we're kind of like trading in as of right now. Now to the upside, we would need to break the 698.27. Keep in mind, something stopped us at the 698.74. Should we break that level, the ATR trailing stop 699.35 could be a rejection area, and I do have a level here marked at 699.51. So somewhere right here between, you know, the 699.35 could be a strong resistance area for Meta. So if that's something that you trade, I say trade carefully. Now breaking this level, we could very well, you know, come back to around the $700.42, somewhere around there, and breaking that brings us back to around $700.99. Now breaking that, 701.60. Should we break that level, 702.47, and again 703.51. So if Meta is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully, y'all. Now back to the downside, under 696.06, we could very well come back to 695.25, which is kind of like in this zone here. Breaking this level brings us back to, let's say, around the 694.85, breaking that level, 694.21. And should we break that, we could very well find support around 693.36, breaking that 692.34, and again 690.80. Keep in mind, we could very well find support anywhere from this level of 692.34 down to this 690.80 area. So breaking that level, you see the next level I have marked is at the 688.16. However, we could very well get stopped out here. So if Meta is something that you trade, y'all know I say trade carefully. We do have a few inside day candles today, and y'all know I just like to give the trigger to those, meaning, you know, if we break through this level, we could possibly reach this target here. One being Delta Airlines, or DAL. Should we break above $48.52, which we're really close to that pre-market, if we should break this area, we could possibly reach the target of $48.96. Now to the downside, if by chance we break under 47.04, downside target 46.99. Delta Airlines is an inside day candle. Cleveland Cliffs CLF is also an inside day candle, and y'all see if we break above $7.95, upside target is $8. Now to the downside, which we are finding this area kind of like our support area, breaking under the $7.32, downside target $7.24. So Cleveland Cliffs is an inside day candle. I say trade carefully. Mara, M-A-R-A, is an inside day candle. Should we break above 14.92, upside target 15.19. Now to the downside, under 14.43, we have a downside target of $14.29. Mara is an inside day candle. Palantir, PLTR, is an inside day candle above 140.36. We have an upside target 141.75. Now to the downside, let's say we break under 137.42, downside target 136.10. Palantir is an inside day candle, and it looks as if we are just trading sideways in this little zone here. So if that is something that you trade, y'all know I say trade carefully. T, or AT&T, is also an inside day candle. Should we break above 27.83, we have an upside target here of 27.97. Now to the downside, under 27.59, we have 27.58 as the target, and as you can see, we've already bounced fell through that and bounced from there at the ATR trail and stop. So T or AT&T, if that is something that you trade, I say trade carefully. Wolf, WOOF, is also an inside day candle. Let's say we break above this level of $2.46, upside target 252, to the downside under 238, downside target 238, not far away. So I look at inside day candles. Why? Because it helps build our watch list, and it kind of gives us, possible support and resistance areas. Now, look, y'all, I say there's so many different ways to, trade the market, and what's challenging at times is making sure that we come up with a strategy that works best for us, and then having the discipline to execute those plans. So I say trade carefully. Now, I'm going to look at Google. I was trying to go back and look at Tesla. Let's go back to Tesla. Let's look at Tesla again just to see where we are. So again, nothing really has changed. Again, Tesla is finding support at that 327.32 and resistance around the 328.35. So y'all, this is what I see when I look at the market. There's so many different ways to trade the market, y'all. And what's challenging again is what's trying to find a strategy, or that works best for you and for us to have the discipline to execute that. So again, I hope that everyone have a very profitable day, a very productive day. And if you could please, again, like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. Until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.